Ilara Dane stood in the center of the great hall, and every breath she took felt heavy. The room was silent, but it was the kind of silence that made the air thick and strange. She could feel hundreds of alien eyes watching her from the shadows. She did not know what they were thinking, but she knew something was very wrong. The lights above flickered like they were trembling too, as if even the hall was afraid of what was about to happen. The Galactic Council sat in a high circle around her, their long shapes hidden behind metal masks. No one spoke at first. Ilara kept her hands tight at her sides, trying not to shake. She had done nothing wrong, at least she believed she hadn't, but the council had summoned her with no warning. She could not guess why they looked at her like she was already guilty. Then the tallest counselor rose. His silver mask shone under the light as he pointed a thin staff toward her. His voice came out cold and echoing like it came from inside a deep cave. He said that Ilara had broken an ancient rule. He said she entered a restricted zone, even though she only went in by mistake while helping a lost child. She tried to explain, but her voice sounded too small, and the council did not care. They only wanted judgment. The staff hit the floor and the sound rolled through the hall like thunder. The counselor announced that her status in the galaxy was now removed. They called it a ceremonial beheading, a symbolic cut, not a real one. It meant she no longer had rights, protection, or honor. She felt the floor shift under her feet. Her heart hit her ribs so hard she almost lost balance. She looked around, but there was no friendly face. Only watchers waiting for her to break. Ilara tried to stay strong. She lifted her chin even when her hands trembled. She asked what would happen to her now. The counselor did not pause before answering. She was to be given to the dragon beast in the forbidden habitat. The creature was ancient, powerful, and feared by every species. They said she would be watched, but she knew they only wanted to see if she survived. Maybe they wanted her to run. Maybe they wanted to see her fail. The reason did not matter. She had no choice. Guards approached her, their armor glowing blue in the dim room. They did not push her, but they walked so close she felt like she had been swallowed into a tunnel. The long doors opened with a heavy rumble, revealing a long path leading to the dragon habitat. She did not look back at the council. She did not want them to see fear in her eyes. The walk felt endless. The walls changed from smooth silver to rough stone as she went deeper into the restricted area. Faint growls echoed in the distance. Some sounded far. Some sounded close. She had never heard such sounds before. They made her skin crawl, but they also made her curious. She wondered what kind of creature had survived so many years alone. Finally the guards stopped before a giant gate covered with claw marks. The metal was dented in places, like something huge had slammed into it again and again. Ilara felt her heart jump. What was waiting behind that gate? Why had the council chosen her for this? The guards opened the gate and warm air rushed out, carrying the smell of earth, ash, and something sharp she could not name. They motioned for her to step inside. Ilara hesitated for only a moment, then walked into the habitat. The gate closed behind her with a loud metallic boom, leaving her alone. The place was wide like a broken valley. Strange glowing plants grew from the rocky ground. The sky above was not real, it was a hologram, but it still felt endless. And somewhere in that vast space something big was breathing. She could feel the vibration under her feet. She walked slowly, her eyes searching the shadows. She expected the dragon beast to leap out, but nothing happened. Only the soft rumble of the creature's breath. She followed the sound and finally she saw it. The dragon beast stood across the valley, its scales shining like dark glass. It was huge, larger than any ship she had repaired. Its wings were folded tightly, and its eyes glowed faint yellow, watching her as if it already knew everything about her. Ilara froze. She felt small, weaker than ever, but something in the beast's eyes did not threaten her. It looked more curious than angry. She took one slow step forward, then another. The beast did not move. It only tilted its head a little, like it was trying to understand who she was and why she had come. She whispered her name, her voice trembling but clear. The beast let out a low sound, not a growl but something softer, almost like an answer. In that strange moment she felt the first spark of something she did not expect: hope. Even though the galaxy had turned its back on her, the creature in front of her had not. Not yet. Ilara stood very still, her heart beat loud in her ears as the dragon beast watched her from across the glowing valley. She expected it to rush at her, roar, or show its teeth. Instead, it only blinked slowly, its golden eyes reflecting the soft blue lights of the habitat. The silence between them felt heavy but not dangerous, just strange, like the moment before something important happens. She took a small breath and stepped closer. The beast shifted its weight but still didn't attack. Its huge tail dragged across the ground, leaving a long mark in the dirt. Elara wondered if it would hit her with it, but the tail only curled around its legs like a resting animal. She couldn't understand why it was calm. The council had called it wild and impossible to control. They used it as a threat, a punishment. But standing in front of it now, she felt something different. She felt watched, yes, but not hunted. Elara spoke again, her voice soft. She told the beast she didn't want trouble. She told it she didn't want to harm anything. She was just trapped here. Her voice cracked slightly, but she kept talking, even though she knew the creature might not understand. Sometimes speaking helped calm the fear rising inside her. The beast lowered its head a little, and a slow puff of warm air came from its nose. The air carried a strange scent, earthy, smoky and old. Elara shielded her face but didn't step back. The creature wasn't warning her. It was smelling her, testing her. A sudden sharp sound echoed through the habitat. Elara flinched and turned fast. A metallic container had dropped from a chute in the far corner, likely a food delivery for the beast. The container hit the ground hard and rolled slightly before stopping. The beast made a deep sound like a growl, but its body stayed still. Elara looked back at it and realized something. The beast was waiting. She watched the creature glance at the container, then back at her. Its eyes held a question. It didn't move toward the food, even though she could hear its stomach rumble from across the valley. It was hungry but cautious. Elara wondered what had happened to it in the past. Had it been hurt? Trapped? Starved? She couldn't know, but she felt a pull inside her to help it. She moved toward the container slowly, trying not to look threatening. The ground under her boots was uneven, scattered with old claw marks and burnt patches. She could feel the beast's eyes on her as she reached the metal container and knelt beside it. The top was sealed, so she pulled the release latch and stepped back quickly. The lid popped open with a loud hiss. Inside were large slabs of meat, glowing faintly with alien colors. Elara wasn't sure what species it came from, but the smell was strong. She gagged a little but tried to keep her face neutral. When she stepped away, the beast finally moved. Its huge body rose slowly, muscles shifting beneath its scales. It walked toward her, not the container, first. Each step made the ground tremble. Elara froze, unsure if she had just made a mistake. The beast stopped in front of her, lowering its head again until its glowing eyes were level with her chest. It breathed in deeply, then let out a soft rumble. Elara held her breath. Then the beast turned away from her and approached the food. She let out a shaky sigh, realizing what had just happened. The beast had checked her first. It had made sure she wasn't a threat before eating. It had chosen not to attack her. It had allowed her to be close. That meant something. She didn't know what exactly, but it was the first sign of trust she had seen. As the beast ate, Elara moved to a nearby rock and sat down slowly. She watched the creature tear into the meat with sharp precision, but also with strange calmness. It was powerful enough to break walls, yet its movements were controlled, almost careful. She wondered how long it had been alone in this place. Minutes passed, and when the beast finished eating, it did something unexpected. Instead of returning to its resting place, it walked toward Elara again. She swallowed and stayed still. The beast lowered itself onto the ground a few feet from her, curling its tail around its body like a giant cat settling down to rest. Elara didn't move for a long time. She just watched the slow rise and fall of its breathing. She felt oddly safe near it, safer than she had felt with the council's masks staring down at her. Maybe the beast felt the same. Maybe it sensed something in her that the council didn't see. As she watched its calm, glowing eyes, she realized one thing clearly. The beast had made a choice. It could have ignored her. It could have chased her away. It could have hurt her. But instead it chose to stay close. And that small choice changed everything inside her. For the first time since the judgment, she did not feel alone. Elara woke to the sound of slow, steady breathing. For a moment she didn't remember where she was. Then she felt the warm air brush against her arm and everything rushed back. The council, the judgment, the dragon beast, and the strange calm that had settled between them. She opened her eyes and found the creature lying only a few steps away, its huge body curved like a protective wall around her. She sat up carefully. The beast didn't move, but one golden eye opened and watched her. It wasn't a cold look. It was quiet, curious, almost gentle. Elara felt something shift inside her again. She had feared this creature, but now she wasn't sure what to call the feeling growing between them. Respect? Trust? Something more ancient? She whispered a greeting, and the beast let out a soft rumble as if answering. Elara stood up and stretched her legs. The habitat's artificial sky glowed with a dim orange light, mimicking early morning. She didn't know how long she had slept. Her body ached from the hard ground, but her mind felt strangely rested. She turned toward the beast and slowly raised her hand. The creature lowered its head, a sign she took as permission. She placed her hand gently on its warm scales. The surface was smooth but firm, like stone warmed by the sun. A soft vibration moved through the beast's body, a low hum that traveled into her fingertips. She felt strangely grounded, as if she were touching something older than the council, older than any of their rules. The beast didn't pull away. Ilara smiled a little, feeling brave enough to speak again. She told the beast her story, why she had been judged, how she had only tried to help a lost child, how the council didn't care. Her voice shook as she spoke, not from fear but from the weight she had carried alone for too long. She didn't expect the beast to understand, but she spoke anyway. Sometimes you speak because someone is listening even if they're not human. The beast shifted closer. It didn't make a sound, but the movement itself felt like comfort. Ilara looked at the creature's eyes. "You're not what they say," she whispered. "You're not a monster." A long silence filled the valley, peaceful and strange. The beast turned its head slightly like it was thinking. Then it tapped the ground with one claw. A soft blue light pulsed beneath the soil, spreading in a circle under them. Ilara stepped back in surprise. The beast raised its head and breathed out a thin stream of warm air. The blue circle grew brighter. Ilara realized what it was doing. It was showing her its communication signal, nonverbal, ancient, and rarely seen. Beasts like this didn't speak with words. They spoke with energy, sound, and movement. They revealed their emotions through these signals only to those they trusted. The beast was not warning her. It was greeting her. Slowly she stepped inside the glowing circle. The beast lowered its head again until it almost touched her shoulder. She felt a pulse under her feet, like a heartbeat but not hers. It was the beast's emotional signal, reaching out, connecting. Ilara didn't know how she understood that, but she did. She closed her eyes and let her hand rest on the creature's head again. The blue light responded, growing brighter at her touch. She felt warmth rise in her chest, not from the air but from the strange connection forming between them. It felt real, strong, and impossible to describe. Suddenly a loud crack echoed through the habitat. Ilara jumped and the beast's muscles tensed. The glowing circle vanished instantly. Both of them turned toward the far wall where a large metal panel shook violently. A crack appeared. Then another. Ilara's heart raced. Something or someone was trying to break into the habitat. The beast rose to its full height, wings half spread, eyes glowing with sharp gold. It let out a deep sound, not a growl, not a roar, something protective, warning whatever was behind the wall. Ilara stepped back but not far. She felt safer near the beast than anywhere else. The metal groaned again, bending inward as if something massive on the other side was pushing through. Dust fell from the ceiling. Small rocks slid down the walls. The beast stepped in front of her, shielding her with its massive body. Ilara's breath caught. In that moment she understood something clear, simple, and powerful. The beast had chosen her. Not because she was strong. Not because she was important. But because she saw it, not as a weapon, not as a monster, but as a living being. And it was going to protect her. The wall shook again, harder this time. Ilara placed her hand on the beast's leg and whispered, "Whatever happens, we face it together." The beast's tail curled around her gently. The connection was real. And now, because of it, everything was about to change. The wall kept shaking harder with each hit, and dust drifted down like falling sand. Ilara pressed her back against the beast's warm scales as it stood in front of her, tall and unmoving. The creature's wings lifted slightly, ready to defend. Its body blocked her completely like a living shield. She felt fear rising in her chest, but the beast's steady breathing helped calm her. Whatever was trying to enter the habitat, the beast was not afraid. And somehow that gave her courage too. The wall finally cracked open with a loud metallic scream. A large hole split across the surface and bright white light poured in from the other side. Ilara raised her hand to cover her eyes. She expected soldiers, weapons, something dangerous. But instead, strange small machines crawled out of the opening. They looked like metallic insects, each with glowing red eyes and sharp legs. Ilara felt her breath hitch. She had seen reports about these machines. They were old security drones, damaged long ago and left behind. But now they had activated again, probably sensing the broken wall as a threat. They scanned the area, their red lights flickering. The moment they detected movement, they made a high-pitched clicking sound. The beast moved fast. It stepped forward, placing itself directly between the machines and Ilara. It let out a deep, rumbling sound that echoed through the habitat. The machines responded with sharp screeches, their metal legs scraping across the ground as they crawled closer. Elara grabbed a loose metal pipe from the floor even though it felt useless. The machines were fast and she was only human. But she refused to hide. She stood behind the beast, ready to help in any way she could. One of the drones jumped. The beast reacted instantly. A powerful swipe of its claw sent the machine flying across the valley, sparks exploding from its broken parts. Another drone leaped, but the beast slammed its tail down, crushing it into the dirt. Elara watched in awe. She had known the beast was strong, but she had never seen it fight. It moved with speed and precision, every strike perfect. Still more drones crawled through the cracked wall. Elara suddenly noticed a small control panel near the broken section. If she could reach it, she might be able to shut down the drones or close the opening. But it was far and the drones were moving too fast. She looked at the beast. It was fighting off the first wave, but more kept coming. She realized something important. The beast was protecting her, but she had to help it too. "Cover me," she shouted, not sure if the beast understood. But the creature looked back at her, then shifted its stance, pushing the drones away from the direction she pointed. It understood. Elara ran. Her boots hit the ground in quick steps, and sharp metal pieces cut into the dirt around her. A drone spotted her and leaped from a rock. She ducked just in time, feeling the wind from its sharp legs pass over her head. Before it could turn around, the beast breathed out a sudden burst of hot air. Not fire, but a shockwave strong enough to knock the drone off course. Elara reached the panel and started pressing random buttons. The screen flickered. She didn't know the alien language well, but she recognized a few symbols. She pressed the shutdown icon. Nothing. She tried the lock symbol. Still nothing. She swallowed her panic and pressed the emergency seal command. The wall gate shook, then slowly began to close. The drones sensed danger and all turned toward the panel at once. "Elara," she heard the beast rumble behind her, the sound urgent. She ducked as 3 drones launched themselves at her together. She covered her head with her arms, expecting pain, but the beast crashed into the ground in front of her, slamming its wings like shields. The drones broke apart on impact, sparks flying everywhere. The gate closed halfway. "Just a little more," Elara whispered. She hit the command again. The gate groaned and lowered another few inches. But one last drone squeezed through the gap, faster than the others. It raced toward her, red eyes blazing. Elara tried to step back, but her foot slipped on the dirt. The drone jumped. The beast roared, louder than anything she had ever heard. It leaped over her, twisting its body midair. Its claws caught the drone right before it reached her. With one strong motion, the beast smashed it into the ground. Elara stared at the broken pieces, shaking. The gate closed fully with a loud clang. Silence fell over the habitat. The beast stood over her, breathing heavily, its scales marked with scratches. Elara slowly got to her feet. She touched the beast gently, her hand shaking. Its golden eyes met hers, tired but calm. "You saved me," she whispered. The beast lowered its head, brushing her shoulder lightly. It wasn't just a gesture. It was a promise. Elara felt tears sting her eyes. The council had tried to punish her. They had tried to break her. But instead she had found something rare. A bond stronger than fear. A loyalty shared by a creature that was supposed to be a monster. This moment changed everything. For her. And for the beast. The turning point had finally come. The ground was still warm from the beast's final roar, and the broken pieces of the security drones lay scattered across the valley floor. Elara stood beside the creature, breathing hard, trying to understand what had just happened. She had entered this place as punishment, a symbolic sacrifice, a girl the council expected to disappear quietly. Instead she had survived. Not because of luck, but because the dragon beast had chosen her. The beast slowly folded its wings, tired but calm. Elara touched its leg gently, checking the scratches on its scales. The creature lowered its head as if telling her it was fine. But Elara felt something different. The air around them felt charged, almost alive. Something was changing. A deep vibration moved through the ground. Elara stepped back, confused. The beast lifted its head sharply, eyes glowing brighter than before. A soft blue light spread from beneath its claws, running through the cracks in the dirt like glowing veins. It was the same energy she had seen during their connection, but this time it was stronger. "Elara Dane," a voice echoed from above. She jumped. The beast stood protectively in front of her again, but this time the voice was not threatening, it was tired and uncertain. The holographic sky shimmered and then vanished. The true steel ceiling of the facility showed itself as a large screen activated. Dozens of masked council members stared down at her. The council had been watching. Elara clenched her fists. They had wanted her to fail. They had wanted the beast to destroy her. But she was still here. And the creature they feared was standing by her side. "You survived the habitat," the lead counselor said, his voice strained. "We did not expect this outcome." The beast growled low, a warning. The blue light around it spread wider. One counselor whispered something off-screen, clearly nervous. Another leaned forward, studying the beast as if seeing it for the first time. Elara could feel the tension. None of them understood what had happened. None of them expected a human girl and a dangerous creature to form a bond far stronger than fear. "What did you do to the beast?" a counselor demanded. Elara stepped forward. Her voice cracked, but she didn't back down. "Nothing," she said. "I listened to it. I treated it like a living being, not a weapon. That's all." The council murmured among themselves, unsure what to make of her words. Then something unbelievable happened. The beast moved closer to Elara and lowered its massive head until its forehead touched her shoulder. A soft blue glow formed where they touched. It spread around both of them like a gentle wave of light. The council went silent. The beast was showing its choice. Publicly. Before the entire council. The blue light expanded, rising into the air. It wasn't chaotic or wild. It was calm, warm, almost peaceful. Elara felt it move around her like a protective circle. The beast's breathing slowed, matching hers, and for a moment they felt like one heartbeat. A ceremonial bond. A bond the council believed was impossible. "Elara Dane," the lead counselor whispered, "the beast has claimed you." Gasps filled the room behind him. This ritual was ancient and rare. A dragon beast would only use it when it accepted someone as its equal, its partner, even its family. It meant the creature would fight for her, protect her, follow her, forever. Elara touched the beast gently. "Are you sure?" she whispered. The beast rumbled softly, its eyes warm. The council was no longer silent. Panic spread across their masked faces. Everything they believed about the beast, and humans, had been broken in a single moment. Another counselor shouted, "This cannot be allowed. The beast is too dangerous." Elara stepped forward before fear could swallow her. "It's not dangerous," she said. "It's loyal. It's kind. It protected me when your drones attacked. I survived because of it. You judged me without listening, just like you judged this creature." The council hesitated. Their voices, once strong and powerful, now sounded unsure. "We cannot control this bond," the lead counselor said. Elara shook her head. "Then don't control it. Learn from it." The beast lifted its head and released a soft roar, not loud, not threatening, but full of meaning. The blue light pulsed once more. Something shifted in the council's eyes. Doubt, fear, respect, and something else, a realization that their old beliefs had cracked open. The council whispered among themselves for several long minutes. The beast stood by Elara the entire time, watching silently. Finally the lead counselor spoke. "Elara Dane," he paused. "Your punishment is withdrawn. You are no longer judged. You will be released from the habitat." Elara's breath caught. She had expected many things but not freedom. The beast leaned close, nudging her shoulder as if making sure she understood. "And," the counselor continued, "the beast is no longer classified as a danger. You may remain together, under observation." Elara looked up at the screen, disbelief washing over her. Something surreal had happened. A human girl and a creature feared by the entire galaxy had changed the council's view, without violence, without threats, only through trust. Elara rested her forehead against the beast's warm scales. They had survived the council's judgment. They had faced danger together. And now they had changed the galaxy's view of what humans, and dragon beasts, could be. Together they stepped toward the gate that slowly opened, ready to face whatever came next. Not as prisoner and monster, but as partners.